Russia-Ukraine war. It's been more than 100 days. The war is happening to the world. The war is happening in Europe or Eastern Europe. However, the impact of this war is globally impact both politically and economically. While the world just get rid of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, at this moment the world is now facing such a drastic situation. In our today's episode, we will try to explore about the Russian-Ukraine war conflict, its historical background, political situation, and also the global crisis. And also we will try to understand at the end how and when this war will end. Understanding about Russia-Ukraine conflict, we need to get back to the historical review of the Russia and Ukraine, when both countries were under the same country's name, Soviet Union. In 1991, Soviet Union collapsed and Ukraine emerged as a new country in the global map. And since then, Russia is always looking for Ukraine. Knowing about the Russia and Ukraine conflict, we also need to check their geopolitical situation, economic situation, cultural situation, and also their global leaders, what they think about Russia and Ukraine. First, we will look about the geopolitical situation of these two countries. Russia is a land of superlatives, by far the world's largest country. Russia's area is around 17.1 million kilometers and the population is around 144.1 million. Russia covers nearly twice the territory of Canada, the second largest country in the world by area. It extends across the whole of Northern Asia and the eastern third of Europe, spanning 11 time zones in the whole Russia and incorporating a great range of environment and landforms. From deserts to semi-arid steppes to deep forest and Arctic tundra, the whole Russia is a huge country. Russia contains Europe's longest river, the Volga, and its largest lake, Ladoga. Russia also is home to the world's deepest lake, Baikal, and the country recorded the world's lowest temperature outside the North and South poles. Russia's border is around with 14 countries, and these countries are mostly Europe, Asia, and also the Antarctica. The 14 countries are Azerbaijan, Belarus, China, Estonia, Finland, Georgia, Kazakhstan, North Korea, Latvia, Lithuania, Mongolia, Norway, Poland, and finally Ukraine. Russia also shares maritime borders with Japan, Sweden, Turkey, and the United States. On the other hand, Ukraine is a country in Eastern Europe. It is the second largest European country after Russia in Europe, covering approximately 600,000 square kilometers and has a population around 40 million. The capital of Ukraine is Kiev, that is located in north-central of Ukraine. Ukraine is also bordered by many countries. Ukraine is bordered by Belarus to the north, Russia to the east, the Sea of Azov and the Black Sea to the south, Moldova and Romania to the southwest, and Hungary, Slovakia, and Poland to the west. In the far southeast, Ukraine is separated from Russia by the Kerch Strait, which connects the Sea of Azov to the Black Sea. In the history, a fully independent Ukraine emerged in the global map only in the 20th century after a long period of successive struggle by the Poland, Lithuania, Russia, and the then Soviet Union. With the dissolution of Soviet Union in December 1991, Ukraine fully gained its independence and emerged in the global map. The country, Ukraine, changed its official name to Ukraine, and it helped to found the Commonwealth of Independent States in 1991. Right after the geopolitical situation of these two countries, now we need to understand about the internal politics of Russia and Ukraine. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, the emergence of Ukraine was always a matter of agitation by the Russian government. In 2014, at that time, the president of Ukraine, President Yanukovych, signed a military memorandum with Russia, and that military memorandum made the situation in Ukraine, and the people did not accept it happily, and they demand for the drop down of the President Yanukovych. Since 2014, President Vladimir Putin used this situation as an agitated attempt to the Russian, and then he was planning to attack Ukraine. Finally, in 2022, this year, Russian President Vladimir Putin attacked Ukraine. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine is such a complex situation. We cannot understand the whole situation only knowing about the world leaders' view, geopolitics, and also the global compact and the conflict situation. Also, the situation we can understand through a simple example, such as the cultural impact of the Ukraine and Russia. Such examples are their cuisine. Here you can see a picture that is called the vareniki. Vareniki is a simple dish which is popular both in Russia and also in Ukraine. But the differences that I wanted to make you understand about the dish with the vareniki is the taste and also the cultural differences between the Russia and the Ukraine. The vareniki that you see in Russia and the vareniki that you see in the Ukraine maybe apparently look same, but if you go back to its taste and also its uniqueness, you will find both are different. So with just simple dish like vareniki, I try to make you understand about the uniqueness of the Ukraine. Though Russia claimed that in every point, geopolitics, their history, their background, that Ukraine is their property, but you understand about this cuisine vareniki, which shows the uniqueness of Ukraine, that symbolizes that Ukraine has its own credibility and Russia cannot understand this credibility alone. They just force their ability to get Ukraine at any cost. Whatever the situation happening, the countries are culturally different. The countries are similar in some point, but there are some uniqueness in Ukrainian. So therefore, Ukrainian never been wants to be a Russian, and they want their own independence. Conflict between Russia and Ukraine is not just happening in the border of the Russia and Ukraine. It's now getting impact to the whole world, especially in the global economy. Already the US dollar price is hiking, and also the ruble of the Russian price is getting higher. The countries like the third world countries who are not in the battle of this Russia and the Ukraine are also in suffering much more with this Russia and Ukraine war. Especially countries like the Bangladesh and the other third world countries are suffering more because of their export and import. Oil prices are getting higher, dollar prices are higher, inflation rate is getting higher. And in this whole situation, right after the COVID-19, when the world just shifting to the endemic situation from the pandemic, now the world is moving to the another war. From the global media to NATO, from United Nations to United States, all over the world, there is just one question: when the Russia and Ukraine conflict will end this war. There is no such answer we can provide in today's episode, but this is the only answer which is looking for the whole world. How long this war will continue is really very difficult at this moment to share now, but there is only one man who can give this answer, and he is the Vladimir Putin.